Here's a question that's going to make you uncomfortable. How much money have you made in your entire working life? Add it up. Every paycheck, bonus, every tax refund. Get the total number? Now look at your bank account. Where the hell did it all go? If you're like most people, you're staring at that number thinking, I should have way more than this. And you're right. You should. But here's the part that's going to make your stomach drop. That money didn't disappear by accident. You didn't lose it. You were systematically separated from it by a machine designed to extract wealth from your paycheck before you even realize what happened. While the scariest part is that you think you're making choices and all your life is in control, but you're not. My name is Tom, and I make this channel to share the knowledge about how you can earn more. If you want to become richer, welcome to subscribe the channel and watch my other videos. For the past 7 years, I've been obsessed with one question. Why do people who make good money feel broke all the time? The answer isn't what you think. It's not about discipline or budgeting or cutting out Starbucks. It's about understanding that you're playing a game where the rules are hidden, the house always wins, and everyone around you is losing the same game while pretending they're winning. This video is 22 minutes, but if you pay attention, you will know how your life is controlled by the consumption trap, and most importantly, how to escape it without earning another dollar. Because here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. You're not broke because you don't make enough. You're broke because someone else is spending your money before you get a chance to. Let's fix that. The first trap you might have is the income illusion. Let me tell you about Sarah. She's 32, makes $85,000 per year, lives in a decent apartment, drives a newish car, and by all external measures, looks like she's doing fine. Last month, Sarah had a panic attack in a Target parking lot because her credit card got declined buying groceries. $85,000 per year, and she couldn't afford a $100 grocery run without her card bouncing. How does this happen? It happens because Sarah makes $85,000 per year, but Sarah cannot keep all the money. This is the part that's going to make you angry because it's probably happening to you right now. First, the government takes about 30% before the money ever hits her account. That's $25,500 gone immediately. She's down to $59,500. Then her rent, which is $3,200 per month in a medium cost of living city. Nothing fancy, just a one-bedroom that doesn't have roaches. Now, across the country, average rent is running about $1,700 to $1,800 per month. So Sarah's paying above average, but not crazy. That's $38,400 per year. Now she's at $21,100. Her car payment is $450 per month because she needed something reliable. Recent data shows new car payments average around $750 and used cars about $530. So Sarah's actually on the lower end. Still, that's $5,400 per year. Another $1,800 is the insurance because she's financing the car and needs full coverage, down to $14,900. Student loans is $300 per month, bare minimum payment. That's another $3,600. $11,300 left. She has other payments such as phone, streaming services including Netflix, Spotify, Disney Plus, and Hulu. Gym membership she uses twice a month cost $50. That's about $3,100 per year for connectivity and entertainment. Food? If she's being reasonable, about $400 per month for groceries and another $300 eating out because she's tired and doesn't want to cook after work. That's $8,400 per year. Now we're at -$200. Utilities, gas for the car maintenance, clothes, haircuts, random Amazon purchases, going out with friends, birthday gifts, literally anything unexpected. Sarah makes $85,000 per year and has negative money before we account for living like a human being with friends, hobbies, or occasional moments of joy. This is the income illusion. The number on your offer letter is not the number you get to keep. And by the time you subtract the mandatory stuff, the lifestyle stuff you think you need, and the surprise stuff that always happens, there's nothing left. But here's where it gets really dark. Sarah knows this. On some level, every month when she's stressed about money, she knows the math doesn't work. But she doesn't change anything because everyone around her is doing the same thing. Her coworkers have car payments. Her friends have the same streaming services. Her Instagram feed is full of people eating at restaurants and going on trips and buying things. So it must be normal, right? Wrong. It's not normal. It's normalized. There's a huge difference. Normal would be having money left over at the end of the month. Normalized is everyone being broke together and pretending it's fine. And here's a number that proves this isn't just Sarah's problem. Recent surveys show that about 37% of Americans can't afford an unexpected expense over $400 without borrowing money or selling something. $400. That's not a new transmission. That's not a medical emergency. That's your water heater breaking or needing new tires. The consumption trap works because it's invisible when everyone's in it. It's like being in a swimming pool and not realizing you're wet because everyone else is wet too. So that's the income illusion. You make more than you keep, but the real trap isn't how much they take. It's how they make you want to give them more. Then we discussed the desire creation. Here's something that's going to sound like a conspiracy theory until you realize it's just Business School 101. Your dissatisfaction is profitable. Think about that for a second. Companies make billions of dollars by making you feel like what you have isn't good enough, like you're not good enough, like you need their product to fix the gap between who you are and who you want to be. This isn't subtle. This is industrial-scale psychological warfare, and it's happening to you every single day. You open Instagram. Within 30 seconds, you've seen someone with a better body, a nicer apartment, a cooler vacation, and a more attractive partner than you. Your brain registers this as, I'm falling behind. You watch a show. Every character lives in an apartment that would cost $4,000 per month, wears clothes that cost $300 per item, and somehow has unlimited money despite having jobs that pay maybe $50,000 per year. Your brain normalizes this as, this is what normal looks like. You drive past a billboard. A beautiful person is smiling while driving a luxury car with the words, "You deserve this," in huge letters. Your brain translates this as, not having this car means you don't value yourself. This is the desire manufacturing machine, and it's so effective that you'll watch it happen to you and still fall for it. Want to know how I know it works? Because you can probably name the last 3 things you bought that you didn't need. You can probably remember thinking, I shouldn't buy this, right before you bought it. And you can definitely remember the moment, maybe 5 days later, when you stopped caring about the thing you just had to have. That's not buyer's remorse. That's the machine working exactly as designed. Here's the formula they use, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Step 1. Create awareness of a problem you didn't know you had. You didn't think about your car being old until the commercial told you it's outdated. You didn't think your couch was ugly until you saw the furniture ad showing a modern living space. Step 2. Associate that problem with inadequacy. It's not just that your car is old. It's that having an old car means you're not keeping up. You're not successful. You're not worth it. Step 3. Offer the solution with easy payment terms. You can't afford the $45,000 car, but you can afford $499 per month. See? Totally doable. Step 4. Create urgency. Limited time offer. Sale ends Monday. Only 3 left at this price. Act now or lose out forever. Step 5. Normalize the decision. Everyone's doing it. Your neighbors have one. Your coworkers are talking about theirs. You're actually behind for not having one yet. This formula works on everything. Cars, clothes, phones, furniture, vacations, gadgets, subscriptions, everything. And here's the really messed up part. They don't need to convince you that you need the thing. They just need to convince you that you deserve the thing. Because deserve is emotional, not logical. And emotions override logic every single time when it comes to spending money. I deserve a nice car. I work hard. I deserve to eat out. It's been a long week. I deserve new clothes. These are old. I deserve a vacation. I haven't taken time off in months. All of these are true statements. You do work hard. You do deserve nice things. But deserve has become the justification for spending money you don't have on things you don't need to solve problems you didn't have until marketing created them. This is why you can make more money next year and still feel just as broke. Because as your income goes up, your deserve threshold goes up too. You get a raise, and suddenly you deserve the nicer apartment, the better car, the more expensive restaurants. The consumption trap scales with your income. This is why people making $200,000 per year can be just as broke as people making $50,000. The trap doesn't discriminate. It just gets more expensive. All right, so now you understand how they create the desire. But desire alone doesn't trap you. What traps you is what comes next. The next trap is the time theft. Here's a way to think about money that's going to change everything. Money isn't money. Money is time. Every dollar you earn represents time you traded, time you can never get back, time you spent doing something you may or may not enjoy for someone who may or may not appreciate you. When you understand this, every purchase becomes a different calculation. That $50 shirt isn't $50, it's 3 hours of your life. Is that shirt worth 3 hours of your time? That $600 phone upgrade isn't $600, it's 2 weeks of work. Is a slightly better camera worth 2 weeks of your life? That $450 car payment isn't $450, it's 30 hours of work every single month for 7 years. That's 2,520 hours total, or 315 8-hour workdays, almost a full year of your life spent paying for a car. This is time theft, and it's the most effective form of the consumption trap because you don't feel it happening. You feel the pain of working, you definitely feel that. The alarm at 6 a.m., the commute, the meetings, the deadlines, the stress, you feel all of that. But you don't connect that pain to the car payment, or the subscriptions, or the furniture you financed, because those purchases happened weeks or months or years ago, and the payment just comes out automatically every month. This disconnect is intentional. The easier they make it to buy things, the harder it is to connect the purchase to the time you're trading for it. Buy now, pay later. Subscribe and save. 0% APR for the first year. Automatic renewal. All of these are designed to separate the moment of desire from the moment of payment, to make buying feel frictionless while working still feels hard. But here's the math they desperately hope you never calculate. Let's say you make about $25 per hour before taxes. That works out to roughly $52,000 per year, which puts you right around the US median income. Every $100 you spend is 4 hours of your life. Every $1,000 is 40 hours. A full work week. Every $10,000 is 400 hours, which is 10 full weeks of work. Now add up all your monthly payments. Car, insurance, subscriptions, phone, everything on autopay. Let's say that totals $1,200 per month. That's 48 hours of work every single month just to pay for recurring expenses. That's a week and a half of your life every month gone before you buy a single thing else. Over a year? 576 hours. That's 14 and a half full work weeks, almost 4 months of your life spent just keeping your recurring payments current. And that's just the recurring stuff. Add in the impulse purchases, the one-time expenses, the stuff you finance and forget about, and you're easily spending 6 to 8 months of every year working just to maintain your current lifestyle. Think about that. Most people spend the majority of their working life paying for the lifestyle they think they need to maintain because they're working so much. It's a trap that feeds itself. You work more to afford the lifestyle. The lifestyle requires you to work more. Round and round until you're 65 and wondering where the last 40 years went. But here's where this gets really dark, and I need you to pay attention because this is the thing that once you see it, you can't unsee it. The system doesn't want you to think about time. The system wants you to think about monthly payments. Can you afford $499 per month? Yes? Great. Here's a car you can't actually afford. Can you swing $15 per month? Cool. Here's a subscription you'll forget about but keep paying for. Monthly payments hide the true cost because your brain is terrible at multiplication. $499 per month doesn't feel like $60,000 over 10 years. It feels like $499. This is why only $12 per month is the most expensive phrase in personal finance. Because $12 times 12 months times 30 years is over $4,000 for one subscription that you probably don't use. If you have 10 of these only subscriptions, you're spending $40,000 over your lifetime on stuff you mostly forget you have. $40,000 is a year and a half of full-time work. A down payment on a house, a fully funded emergency fund, years of living expenses in retirement. But it doesn't feel like that. It feels like only $12. This is time theft. They're stealing your future by making you think in monthly payments instead of lifetime costs. So now you understand the income illusion, the desire machine, and time theft. But there's one more layer to this trap that makes it almost impossible to escape without help. Social stress is the next trap. Here's the most effective wealth extraction tool ever invented: your friends. Not intentionally. Your friends aren't trying to make you broke, but they're doing it anyway. For example, your friend bought a new car. They're excited about it. They post pictures, they talk about the features, they seem happy. Your brain registers this as new car equals happiness. Another friend went on an expensive vacation. The photos look amazing. They're smiling on a beach somewhere with drinks that have umbrellas in them. Your brain files this under, I should do that too. Your coworker got a new phone. It's the latest model, it's shiny, it does things your phone doesn't do. Your phone suddenly feels old even though it worked fine yesterday. This is the social pressure engine, and it's more effective than any ad campaign because it's coming from people you actually know and trust. Here's why this trap is so effective. You're not just competing with advertising anymore. You're competing with everyone around you, and everyone around you is competing with everyone around them. It's an arms race where the only winner is the companies selling you stuff. The technical term for this is keeping up with the Joneses, but that phrase is too nice. This isn't about keeping up. This is about financial self-destruction in slow motion while watching everyone else destroy themselves too. Want to know how dark this gets? People will literally go into debt to avoid the social shame of admitting they can't afford something. Want to go to this restaurant? Want to split an Airbnb for the weekend? Want to go in on this group gift? The correct answer is often, no, I can't afford it. But that's social suicide, so instead people say yes and figure out the money later. Credit card, overdraft, whatever it takes. Because admitting you can't afford something feels like admitting you're failing at life, even though the person asking also can't afford it and is also putting it on a credit card and is also stressed about money. This is the trap within the trap. Everyone is pretending to afford their lifestyle. Everyone is stressed about money privately, but nobody talks about it because talking about it would mean admitting weakness. So we all just keep spending money we don't have to do things we don't want to do with people who are also pretending they can afford it. Here's a specific example that's going to make this click. Weddings. The average American wedding costs over $30,000. $30,000 for one day. That's more than most people have in savings. That's a year of living expenses. That's a down payment on a house. But nobody gets married in a courthouse anymore because what would people think? They'd think you're cheap. They'd think you can't afford a real wedding. They'd think something's wrong. So people drop $30,000 they don't have to impress 200 people, half of whom they don't even like, to avoid the judgment of seeming poor. And the guests? They're spending money they don't have on gifts, travel, hotels, and new clothes because showing up to a wedding in an outfit you've worn before is apparently worse than going into debt. This is financial insanity enabled by social pressure, and it applies to everything. Birthday parties for kids that cost thousands of dollars, graduation gifts that put parents into debt, holiday spending that takes until March to pay off. All of it driven by the terror of being judged for not spending enough. Here's what makes this so insidious. The judgment is mostly in your head. Most people don't actually care what you spend on their gift or whether you showed up to their party. They're too busy worrying about what you think of them. But we've created a culture where everyone is performing wealth to avoid judgment from people who are also performing wealth. And the only ones winning are the companies selling us the props for the performance. Want to break free from this trap? You need to do something that's going to feel impossible at first. Stop pretending. When someone asks if you want to do something you can't afford, say, I can't afford it, not as a shameful confession, as a neutral fact. When someone shows off their new purchase, don't feel pressured to match it. Say, that's nice for you, and move on with your life. When holiday season comes and everyone's spending money they don't have, opt out. Give thoughtful cards. Spend time instead of money. Be the person who breaks the cycle. Will some people judge you? Probably. But here's what's funny about that. The people judging you are usually the ones drowning in debt trying to maintain appearances. Their judgment says more about their insecurity than your choices. And the people who matter, the actual friends who care about you, they'll respect you for being real. Some might even be relieved because you gave them permission to stop pretending too. Alright, so we've covered 4 layers of the trap: income illusion, desire machine, time theft, and social pressure. Now let me show you what this actually costs you in real numbers. Let me walk you through the lifetime cost of an average American lifestyle. And I'm not talking about living rich. I'm talking about normal. The lifestyle that everyone thinks is just the cost of being an adult. Housing. Average rent across the U.S. runs about $1,700 to $1,800 per month, depending on the market. Let's use $1,800 to be conservative. Over a 40-year working life, that's $864,000. Almost $1 million spent on places you'll never own. If you buy instead, with a typical mortgage, you'll pay roughly close to twice the purchase price of the house by the time interest is included. A $300,000 house costs you around $600,000 over 30 years, once you factor in interest at today's rates. Cars. Recent data shows the average monthly car payment is about $750 for new vehicles and just over $530 for used ones. But let's be conservative and use $550 as a middle ground. Nobody keeps the same car payment their whole life. People upgrade, trade in, always have a payment. Over 40 years, that's $264,000 just in payments. Add insurance, gas, maintenance, repairs, and your total transportation cost over a lifetime? Easily $500,000. Food. The average American spends about $700 per month on groceries and eating out combined. Over 40 years is $336,000. Subscriptions and utilities. Phone, internet, streaming, gym, everything that auto-debits every month. About $300 per month combined. Over 40 years is $144,000. Clothes and personal care. Let's be conservative and say $200 per month. Over 40 years, $96,000. Add it all up. Just these basics, the stuff everyone says you need, costs over $2 million during a typical working lifetime. Now here's the part that should make your head explode. Studies estimate that a typical full-time worker with a bachelor's degree earns roughly $2.5 to $2.8 million over a career. That's before taxes. You're spending nearly everything you'll ever earn just on the basics. And we haven't even covered healthcare, education costs, furniture and appliances, vacations, entertainment beyond subscriptions, gifts, pet expenses, emergency repairs, any kind of fun whatsoever. This is why people work for 40 years and end up with nothing. Because the normal lifestyle costs everything you'll ever make. But here's where it gets interesting. What if you made different choices on just a few of these categories? Get a roommate or live in a less expensive area. Cut housing costs by 30%. You just saved $259,000 over your lifetime. Buy reliable used cars with cash instead of always having a payment. You could cut transportation costs in half. That's another $250,000 saved. Cook at home instead of eating out regularly. Cut this budget by 30%. Another $100,000 saved. Cancel everything you don't actively use every week. Cut this by half. $72,000 saved. That's $681,000 in savings from making 4 different choices that wouldn't fundamentally change your quality of life. Now invest that money instead. If you took those savings and invested them consistently over 40 years at 8% returns, which is roughly in line with long-term stock market averages, you're looking at well over $4 million. $4 million! From just being slightly more intentional about 4 categories of spending. This is what the consumption trap is costing you. Not just the money you spend. All the money that money could have become if you'd kept it instead. Every dollar you spend is really costing you what that dollar could grow to. A dollar today at 8% growth over 30 years becomes about $10. So that $5 coffee is really costing you $50 in future value. This is what nobody teaches you. The cost isn't the cost. The cost is the cost, plus all the growth you gave up by spending instead of investing. So that's what the trap costs you. Millions of dollars over a lifetime. You're not broke because you don't make enough money. You're broke because you're playing a game designed to extract every dollar from your paycheck using 4 weapons. Income illusion, desire manufacturing, time theft, and social pressure. The income illusion makes you think you have more than you do. The desire machine makes you want things you didn't know existed. Time theft makes you trade your life for stuff. And social pressure makes you do it all to avoid judgment from people who are broke too. This costs you millions of dollars over your lifetime. Not just what you spend, but what that money could have grown to if you'd kept it. But you can escape this. Not by making more money, by being intentional about where your money goes and understanding that every dollar represents time you can never get back. Calculate your real hourly rate. Wait 48 hours before buying. Kill subscriptions. Ask about opportunity cost. Buy assets. Add friction. Find free alternatives. Do these things, and within a year, you'll have more money saved than most people save in a decade. Not because you're special, because you stopped volunteering for the trap. The consumption trap only works if you don't know it exists. Now you know. Now you have to decide what you're going to do with that knowledge. So here's your challenge. This week, maybe it's canceling subscriptions you don't use. Maybe it's calculating your real hourly rate. Just pick one and do it. Then come back next week and add another one. 7 weeks from now, you'll be living completely differently. 7 months from now, you'll have more money saved than your friends who make twice what you do. If this video opened your eyes to the game being played with your paycheck, hit that subscribe button. I make videos like this every week showing you how the system works and how to work the system back. Drop a comment telling me which of the 7 steps you're starting with. I read every comment, and I'll respond with specific advice for your situation. And if you know someone who's stuck in the trap, someone who makes good money but is always broke and doesn't know why, send them this video. It might be exactly what they need to break free. Remember, you don't need more money. You need to keep more of the money you already make. I'm Tom. Thanks for watching. Now go cancel those subscriptions, but you can subscribe my channel. All my videos are free of charge and can help you earn more. See you next time.